What is up, everybody? I'm Fernando Ramirez. I was there today at Chargers Park at Hog Performance Center for the final time. I'll get into that. Gilbert was there too, so we'll get into some of that. We'll also bring on Dan and Dago. We'll discuss everything that happened at Chargers Park. But first, let's go to the intro.
Compas on the beat. Let's get it. Let's go.
Yeah. So we're Compas.
Yeah, we are.
There you go.
There you go. Okay, all right. We got proof right there.
That seems like he's asleep. Need you to wake up, Gilbert. There's a lot of energy.
Come on, Gilbert. Let's go.
Come on. Dan and Dago is at Moe's.
I'll show you. I'll show you. I got it right.
Okay, that's it. You guys, I am done with mine, but that's couldn't get better than a 2026 6th-round pick swap for a 7th-rounder. So
Freaking love you, Chad.
Hey, dude. Cool, man.
Compas on the beat, man. Derwin James signing off, man. Watch Compas on the beat, man.
Yeah, no, Derwin James was there today too. He spoke. So at first, let me bring on my Compas on the beat co-host. This will be righteous music for him. I think he'll like this.
What the Rock is cooking.
Gilbert
I like
Manzano, he was there as well. Gilbert, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, but being the final boss that I am and being the Rock, the Brahma Bull, the People's Champ, the Great One, what the hell is Chargers Park right now? I thought Chargers Park was
I forgot.
was a San Diego thing. I thought that was down the 405 freeway thing.
Well, I've been at 2 different facilities now going on a third. So no, it's a third one. We were both there today, so we'll talk about it. But Gilbert, I know you're eager for me to bring him on.
No, let me keep talking. And
let's freaking go, baby. I'm so amped up. I'm filming over here from an undisclosed location. I already was getting my little thumbs going. I already got a comment in there from the Twitter. It makes sense. Shout out, Angel. Shout out. Appreciate the love.
people actually like you on your show here.
It would. What are you talking about, guy?
Like on Compas, I'm like the star, and I would think on the show where you're the star, people want to like you.
Guy, you're exactly like the Rock. You have to throw your weight around that. I'm the expert. I'm the reporter. I know, just to be able to get in the ring and do some stuff. But Brown, that's the biggest thing, right? Let's look at why you.
You're saying hi to you.
Shout out, my boy. How you doing? We're in here. We're excited. We're ready to roll. What was I going to tell you, Brown? It's just beautiful that you played his music. Another overrated character on a show that doesn't need him and other things like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just kidding.
So obviously, Gilbert and I were both there at the final day at the Hogue Performance Center. As a Charger will now move to the new facility.
I'm surprised Gilberto Manzano knew how to get there, Brown. Did he get lost on the way or no?
Hey,
I'm surprised Brock didn't send you the directions again, Gilbert.
I'm not Ramzano. I'm a national reporter. Get it right.
There we go.
So think of 31 other names, okay?
I'm gonna have to. I really do have to come up with a nickname. So I've done the Curse. I've done Gilberto Ramzano. I've done Rigoberto. I've done what else?
Heel.
Oh yeah, Gilberto.
That might be my favorite one, Gilberto.
Oh, it's the best.
Eddie, are you serious? This is who are your top 10 LA athletes based on fame? See, that's the thing. LA, like they were born in LA, or LA, like they're LA athletes. Because
a relative or what?
Well, you know who's the biggest one?
No. Number one would be Kobe Bryant.
Are you sure? OJ killed it at USC, so then in Brentwood also, but no big deal.
You couldn't help yourself.
He couldn't help himself.
Don't get sued now. Come on.
No, allegedly.
Roberto's entrance song should be Billy the Gun, Mr. Ass theme.
Yeah, why not, man? And
Athir, yes, you can send Dan your question. He will answer it.
And Dan could be my road dog. How about that?
So,
could you imagine? I do need to come up with a script like that. I've been wanting to do that, but I can't do it. I'm too much of a scatterbrain.
So obviously today was the final day of minicamp, final day at the Hogue Performance Center. And obviously we got to speak to Justin Herbert.
Shout out, young goat.
About the offense. He was asked about he brought today, Gilbert, and we didn't get to speak too much about it. Justin seems different, dude.
Hey, that's the first thing I told you.
There was
homage?
No,
For all your criticism?
It was definitely interesting. There was a so you know what? I can't even say it. Let me show it to you, Dan. This is your quarterback showing off his personality.
Wearing the gold jersey. Jim said you haven't liked it much. You were trying to escape it.
I asked him on the first day if the other quarterbacks could wear one as well, but he said it was his rule, and so if it's his rule, I'm following it, and it doesn't matter what color it is, I'll wear it, and as long as I got a jersey.
What was you saw you went to the Zach Bryan concert, or you were singing on stage? Have you done something like that before?
That was the first time, yeah.
How was that? How did you feel like you did?
I wasn't really judging my performance. I think I was just more so having a good time, enjoying some camaraderie with your teammates. Had a bunch of offensive lines, some receivers, so it was cool to be able to share that experience with them and have some fun.
You didn't pour over the tape from it?
No, I actually did not. I stayed away from that. Was just focused on the next day of practice, and just getting ready for the golf tournament that was the following day.
Were you nervous?
Got a busy schedule. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell you one thing right now, Gilberto. I'm gonna tell you one thing. If my boy is at the Luke Combs concert and I'm within spitting distance, I'm gonna black out that night, and you're never gonna see me again.
Supposedly, somebody on the show has inside info on that, but I'll leave it at that.
I would die if I got to talk to him or shake his hand. I'm blacking out. The son of Odin. I would buy him shots on days.
Okay, so I did ask him if he was going to the Luke Combs concert, and he said he has a previous engagement he has to go to, but that he's pissed because he wished he was going.
Who
that
cares
he really
about the previous engagement? Come on out with the boys, dude.
He said he really wanted to see you again. That the last time he met you, he said great guy, and that he wanted to see you again.
I'm telling you,
Big Dan guy.
If we ever get a pass to get me on the training camp, I'm gonna come in a suit. They're gonna ask me, "Why are you in a suit?" I am the wise man. I am the wise man to the Greek god over here. Don't you dare!
Just show up with a belt and just hold it behind them every time you walk around them.
Oh yeah, dude, I'd hold up a golden arm if I had to. I would hold it. Yeah, I would do something.
Okay, so he's saying Dave and Josh Palais answered this. Oh, so he's talking about current players. Shoot,
Trout?
I don't know.
I would take out Trout for sure because he hasn't played. You know who I'd put in there? Carlos Vela. Give me a little Carlos Vela in there.
You know who I'd put number one? I love how LeBron. Oh, LeBron. Number one is the son of Odin, baby. God of lightning. There is no one bigger.
See, I need the criteria. Is it like talent or impact?
Current players right now.
I think
Lane Braun.
For me, I don't know. I mean, LeBron's in the back of his career. I will go Shohei number one.
Mookie has to be on there.
The gambler, allegedly.
Yeah, not that one. Sounds like a mafia name.
AD, I would
not
see
Paul
Harden.
George.
I can't because Harden to me is a fat dude. Like
Harden's in LA.
Yeah, he's
Clippers.
a Clipper.
We all forgot.
I wouldn't go Kershaw either. Kawhi, they don't. Okay, Harden, Kershaw, and Kawhi. Two of those don't even play. Harden to me is just whatever. Okay,
I want to say it's Shohei Ohtani like on a level on his own, and then a bunch of other people after that.
All right, Dan, real quick. Athir says, Dan, let's say the Chargers win the Super Bowl. Okay, you can stop right there because if they do, Dan, what happens to you?
It doesn't matter. I'm out. Build Harbaugh a statue. Retire Herbert's jersey while he's playing. It doesn't matter. It's over.
Okay, it says wins the Super Bowl this year. Herbert and Harbaugh will be in the record book. My question is, who came up with the dumb idea? Wins and losses is a GM stat.
Stat? Oh.
I'd say that's a coach also. That's a coach's stat also.
Oh, you think wins and losses are?
Yeah, 100%. Because you have to manage the players. Like, yeah, of course, there are certain scenarios where in the NFL you get trashy players because you have a GM who thinks nothing of a rookie contract and things like that, but it still comes on to the GM also. Like they play a big hand in acquiring players. Like the job of the coach in the NFL, obviously, except your exceptional coaches like Harbaugh, Belichick, and some of these guys, they're for the most part in theory, right? In theory, they coach whatever's on the field. So if I bring in bag boys from Walmart and they're supposed to coach them up, well, they're still going to be a little bit behind the eight ball, if that makes sense.
Dan looks like he just finished coaching JJ McCarthy.
Wow.
Hey, I like that comparison better than Brawny or Barney because I'm wearing purple. So
I was gonna say Grimace from McDonald's, but that works too.
Grimace? Let me Google this. Let me see what this.
You know Grimace is? Come on.
No, I saw a kid.
Huh? Oh, I'm doing this kind of portable thing, and so far it's holding up. Don't jinx it, House of Horns. Which what are you doing on this show? This is a What's a Bolt show.
Oh, Dan. You know what? Dennis has a good one.
Oh, you're a bastard. Yeah, you can take that real quick. Now I just looked up who that is.
Dan,
I think Harbaugh was praising Pipkins today, and Herbert a little bit too.
Yeah, Dennis is asking what are your thoughts are on Pipkins playing guard?
You know, that's going to be interesting to see because I think part of his problem when he was outside, the problem that sometimes guys have playing tackle, it's too much space. You know what I mean? There's too much space between the tackle and the end. They get antsy. They want to reach. They want to get into them. They want to rush it. And that's sometimes a problem, right? But if you move it into guard, there's less distance to cover. So really all you have to do is stand there and be a brick wall. And maybe that's what he is because we know he's strong. You know, the things that's bothered me sometimes about him at tackle is he turns his shoulders too early for me in his pass pro. And when you turn your shoulders too early, you make the edge smaller for the defensive end to go get the quarterback. So who knows? Maybe at guard might be the right spot. I just don't know because I've never really seen him move. So if they're trying to run power, counter, or any of that stuff with pulling guards, I don't know what type of movement he'd have. Maybe he's lost some weight. I don't know. But, I mean, can't be any worse than what he's been doing now. So why not try my guard?
Follow-up question. Should Trey Pipkins be in the starting five?
I mean, I wouldn't want to answer that until I'm out at training camp.
You've seen the guy for the last 4 years.
Well, so if you're talking about him at the tackle spot, 100%, yeah, no. If you can find somebody better, find something better. Okay. And especially that's theoretically what you brought in Joe Alt to do. You draft the guy number 5 or what was it? Oh, hold on. What are we, 13? 5? Yeah, you draft a guy number 5, he should be a first-day starter, right? So you put him there, and if you need Pipkins because you don't want to cut him and eat the dead money or whatever it is, yeah, try him at guard, see what he's got.
I'm just thinking, why not? Is it Salgier?
At guard?
I didn't like him last year.
He did not look good last year at guard because, again, people don't understand really how hard it is to go from tackle to guard because it's two different body types. You know, I don't want to spend a lot of time.
We're kind of doing it again. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know. And you know, I think you brought up the best point when the whole thing with what's his name? Thank God he's gone. But Kenneth Murray. When they moved him to edge, you had a very good point. You said anytime a coach is looking to move you positions you've been playing forever, that's kind of a bad sign. So similar thing here. I'm just glad Storm Norton's gone. He was no good to anybody. So he got Max Crosby paid. Everybody forgets that.
Willie Bowen is talking about the receiving crew. Quentin Johnson.
I don't know about that last name, guy. I don't know about that last
name. Gilbert, obviously, everybody's and Herbert talked about it today. He said a lot of people are making a lot about the run, and Greg Roman said it too yesterday. People are making it seem like those guys are just going to have Herbert throw the ball 5 or 6 times a game. And that's not true. It's just going to depend on the matchup. That's what we're hearing. Matchup, whoever they're playing, that's what it's going to depend on. As of right now, DJ Chark and Josh Palmer have actually looked really good. I think Latimer Conkey has looked very good. Herbert was praising him today. We'll get to that in a second. But just Gilbert, what are your overall thoughts on the receiving group?
Well, Fernando,
there's no more Keenan Allen. There's no more Mike Williams. We all know that that's kind of changed.
I don't want to pretend like I know what answers are like legit 100%.
No. Yeah.
Truthful for Justin Herbert, but I'll say this: when he got to the Quentin Johnson question, he kind of had a little more like, "Hey, stop counting out my guy. He's gonna like he knows what's going on there with the whole the criticism, you know, outside the facility, the drops, things like that. Like it felt like he had more like he had to reach down and say." He's going to have a good season, okay? So kind of like back off. So I don't know if I'm making too much about it, but I could just tell the difference in his tone of voice. So, you know, Quentin Johnson's been out there. I don't know how much you could take away from this, Fernando, but I've been there a couple of times, and he seems to be one, you know, with the ones out there, with the starters. Maybe they rotate a lot between the group here. But, you know, to me, I feel like it's way too soon to give up on a guy, like Justin Herbert said, talented, athletic, you know, could do a little bit of everything on the field. Obviously, you got to catch the ball, and that's like the biggest concern. Like if he's able to kind of get the mental aspect out of his head and just play football and catch the ball with ease, he's athletic, he's talented, he has everything put together. So I think when Herbert sees him in practice, like that guy could be really good. But when the lights are on, you're on the football field, people are screaming at you, pressure's on you to make a play. That's where he needs to get over that hurdle, that mental hurdle, and just catch the ball. So I'm not going to write him off after one season. He's a first-round pick for a reason. He was the first pick from wide receivers taken last year, if I'm not mistaken, Fernando. So that's high praise there. I know that was from a different regime. But I also like Palmer. I like Ladd McConkey being a reliable player who gets open very quickly. Who knows what happens with Brendan Rice. DJ Shark is a veteran in the NFL. But Fernando, I'm with you. It could be more like the Green Bay Packers, where they don't have a legit number one wide receiver. Yeah, they have Christian Watson to be that potential number one wide receiver, but how about 4 guys to get 700 yards receiving on the season instead of maybe 1 or 2 guys to get over 1,000 yards receiving?
It's funny, Dan. I told Gilbert I thought the one that could probably get to 1,000 is probably Ladd McConkey, just because of his style of play and kind of that burner-esque. I know everybody says that they remind him of Cooper Kupp, but the skin tone is the only thing that reminds you of Cooper Kupp. He's very fast. So, and I've seen him during practice. It's funny, on Tuesday, he was supposed to do a slant and run into the end zone. Obviously, it was like a end zone drill, and he slipped and he fell, and Herbert overshot it. And he was starting to go to the back of the line, and Herbert goes, no, do it again, run it back. And then Ladd comes back, and he gets back in there, and he catches it. He's like, there you go. And Herbert starts clapping. He's like, it happens to all of us, dude. Come on, just get up and let's keep it going.
My guy's a leader. My guy's a leader. What else is there?
Did you check out your brother's Twitter today? He has a video of Herbert in the middle talking to the whole team.
Gilberto's over here trying to pump up Russell Wilson. He's a big Danger Russ guy.
Now you're building up fake narratives. Like, I never built up Russell Wilson. I'm actually saying they should go start Justin Fields. I'm tired of Russell Wilson.
Dan, what do you make of this?
I give you shit. Okay.
Dan, what do you make of this?
What can I tell you, right? When Achilles stood in front of his troops speaking before they invaded Troy, this is what
I was like, what injury are you talking about here?
When Leonidas spoke to the Spartans to get them ready, this is what this reminds me of. That famous photo of Dwight Eisenhower before D-Day, that's what that reminds me of. It just gets me fired up. It almost makes me hate that it's not football season and I'm not coaching also.
Dan, can you pretend you're Herbert? What do you think he's saying in that moment right there to his teammates?
Everybody better quit failing me. You all suck and you need to pick up the pace.
Okay, and then end.
That's
break.
A joke.
Go Chargers.
That's a joke. Yeah, go Chargers. That's a joke.
So, obviously, Gilbert, Athir wants to let you know that your Rams will be 9-8, while Dan's Chargers will be 13-4. Harbaugh will win Coach of the Year, Herbert MVP. Chargers win the West. Rams sit at home. So there you go. Dennis says he feels like Pipkins was having Sawyer next to him was a little bit rough.
Well, that could be a good factor, right? Because if you put a guy who's not like when you put experimental guys, like for instance me, right? When I have to move guys and put guys next to experimentals, I want the guy next to him to be 100% locked in, know what's going on, right? And maybe that's what happened between Sawyer and Pipkins, and then obviously Corey Linsley wasn't in more than half the year. I think he was only there for 2 games or so. And you have Will Clapp in there. That kind of makes it pretty tough right there, especially, changing positions and everything else. So that 100%, Dennis, you have a point. That 100% could have been a problem. Maybe that's what didn't make him look as good. Because as you all know, communication on the offensive line is such an important factor. These guys need to have better communication with their teammates and their wives to play offensive line. So that's kind of one of those things.
Dennis, how long have you been a Chargers fan? Jesus, going back to Tony Martin and Stan Humphries. That Dan wasn't even born before they did that. So
shout out.
Pretty impressive, Dennis. Dennis always adds a lot to the show. So we appreciate Dennis and everybody else. Brendan Rice, Angel. I feel like he's going to be a guy because Gilbert just told you about Quentin Johnston. Brendan Rice he's caught some balls, but we're waiting. Oh wow, Eric Coryell. Wow, that's amazing. Shout out to you for coming over here and talking with us. We love it.
Shout out.
Brendan Rice is going to be a guy that I think when they get the pads on, that's when you're going to see what he has, because him and Cornelius have had some good plays. They've had some bad. There was one where Cornelius was wide open and he could have walked into the end zone and then he dropped it. So there's just things here and there, but obviously the closer we get to pads and everything, that's when you're going to see a little bit more from them. But yeah, no, it's interesting to kind of hear the way everybody talks. And so obviously let's finish up with the offense, and then we'll jump over to the defensive side. Everybody made a lot about, and we heard the clip from former backup
Chase Daniel.
He said that
don't
Herbert obviously missed Shane Day. Now they got him back. Dan, listen to how all that kind of came about. It's pretty interesting.
Approach. He's done such a great job for this quarterback room, and the relationship that he has with Easton and I, and now with Max and Casey, he's done a great job of just picking up and moving right where we left off. Obviously tough losing him for a year, but when the question came up of who I thought best was for that position, Shane was the number one guy, and really glad to be working with him again.
So
that's wild. Stamp of approval by my boy.
Dennis Jerry was not on the practice field. I'm sure he'll be at training camp at some point, and all eyes will be on him. Well, who knows? But this is what it tells me, Gilbert, is that Justin obviously wanted to work with Shane Day, and Shane Day really wanted to work with Herbert, and he sees something in Herbert because obviously he was working with CJ Stroud last year. They did great, but there something tells me that he really loved working with Herbert, that he wanted to leave, because you don't leave a situation like the CJ Stroud situation if you don't think, you know what, Justin and I have unfinished business. I love Justin. Let me go back, because it's not like he's going from quarterback coach to offensive coordinator. He's going to a same position that he was at. So what are your thoughts on what Herbert had to say there about him wanting him?
Yeah, about me?
Oh, no, Gilbert.
I'm the guest. I'm the special treatment guy right here. Talk to me. Ask me the questions, and I'll give you responses. But with Justin Herbert, as you could tell, Fernando, from being at the press conference, half of the questions were about like, hey, you've had like 4 different offensive schemes, or even going back to your college days, like 7.
Well,
who the hell knows?
He doesn't know.
Who knows? But he has a bunch of schemes, and they're asking, do you want continuity? Do you want familiar voices? Do you want to have some kind of stability? Obviously he does, but that tells you how much of a factor it's been. He's great memory. Again, I've been watching Suits. Mike Ross memory, photographic memory, but to bring back Shane Day and to give some kind of familiar voice, familiar coaching, I'm sure it's a sigh of relief for Justin Herbert. Something has to come a little easier, like you mentioned, Dan. Stop failing the guy. So he needs a little help. Obviously he's Superman. He does great things. He's a son of Odin. There you go, or whatever Thor you want to call him.
That's right. So yes, Zeus's lightning bolt.
To make life easier, bring somebody that you had a lot of success with, somebody that terminology. I think somebody asked him, how many football languages do you speak? And he probably would have said like 5 or 8. But and that's why Herbert was having fun today. Like, yeah, he's had so many different kind of schemes, languages to learn. So bringing the Shane Day, who you already worked with, that was 2022, right, Fernando? So they went to the playoffs that year, good success. And when they asked Herbert, who do you want to bring? And he said Shane Day, number 1. That says a lot about the relationship they had, on and off the field. And to bring something familiar when you're having to learn something new, like I bet the Greg Roman scheme, not just for the quarterback, but the running game, the offensive line, you as a quarterback, you got to learn all of that and be familiar with everything when you're going to do maybe a check, whatever you want to change the play up. You better be knowing what's going on. And to have a quarterback coach that you're familiar with, where that part is easy, and makes so much life easier for Herbert all around.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Dennis, I wouldn't go with all that. I mean, there were some things that obviously Staley didn't do well, and I'm sure if he could do them over again, he might change them. But yeah, no, Angel, I agree. Pep Hamilton was good for Herbert as well, but it just seems like with Shane Day, there was something there that they just has reunited them. And like Gilbert said, he's had a lot of going back to college. So he's been in the NFL. This is his 5th year. Yeah. Okay. So he's had 5 years here, 4 years of college, 9 years. In the 9 years, he's only had one offensive coordinator stay one more year, which was Joe Lombardi, in 9 years. So he's had 8 offensive coordinators in 9 years, and he's had 6 head coaches in those 9 years. So, and for him to learn and succeed in all those different systems is just incredible and says a lot about him. And another thing real quick is, Dan, to your point, is that Herbert and everybody has really praised Harbaugh for the job that he's doing and what he's implemented. Gilbert, I think you noticed it as well as I did. Those practices were tough. They were not tough in the sense of like they were doing anything out of the ordinary, but it was just a long practice. They were getting through everything. They were in it halfway through, water break. All right, let's get back into it. And Harbaugh even said in one of those that there's times where he just lets the guys go and he lets them run the practice. And he's like, you see guys over here working on pass blocking. You see those guys running, the quarterbacks and the receivers get together and they start running routes. It's just, I think everybody's kind of been impressed with the way Jim Harbaugh runs everything. And that's why I think even the players have said everything's really changed here. Like there's a lot of changes that he's made that were really impactful. Dan, just when you have a coach like that, how impactful is that for this team?
Oh, 100%. Going back to Shane Day and all that, like we're talking about. Last year I was at the coaches convention and I heard this interesting perspective. Mind you, I'm an offensive line guy for life. I hope I don't have to coach skill players and all that other stuff. But I mean,
Eric says skill players are better.
No, they're not. They're soft, debutantes who just show up for the photos and they got their sleeves, their gloves, their hand warmers, towels, all this other shit. And it's just crazy. But going back to what I was saying, this quarterback coach at the convention had a really good point that I had never thought of. He was like, dude, essentially, like being a quarterback coach, you're essentially a trainer. All you do is train with one guy one-on-one. You hope the other two or whatever are picking it up, but only one guy's on the field. So you really have to focus on that guy and get him ready to go for game day and everything else. And I was like, and the funniest part, because I mean, obviously offensive line, you try and coach everybody up like they're the starters. Receivers, same thing, because they rotate and everything else. But really, that is the one position where only one guy's on the field, and it's really, I would say, for the most part, rare when they come off. And so going back to this now, right, obviously he spends a lot of time with that one guy, and they're almost always together at the hip. So that says volumes of how much he enjoyed having Shane Day as his coach. I think that speaks volumes. He was given an option, from what it sounds like in the video, he was given an option of kind of who he kind of liked. Automatically, he said Shane Day. It wasn't like whoever you want, coach. It wasn't one of those type of things where, I'm good with anybody. He said he wanted Shane Day, and I think that speaks volumes to his coaching style and everything else, because they're going to be spending a lot of time together, obviously, in the fall.
Let me add this real quick, Fernando and Dan, and to give you some coach speak and some cliches. I don't know if I'm making too much of it, but Victor did ask me this yesterday, and I guess what's the benefit to Sean McVay getting the Chargers to have a scrimmage? And I'm like, honestly, that's probably the ideal coach you want to work with. It's going to be physical. They're going to test you. They're going to punish you. They're going to push you. But the key word, discipline, controlled environment.
Yeah.
Like Jim Harbaugh's going to bring that. No more this dumb. Obviously, be physical. Don't do dumb crap at the worst time to cost you a one-score game. You better be disciplined. So having that controlled, I guess, rage, but being disciplined, those are the traits of Jim Harbaugh. So when you want to kind of find somewhere to simulate real life big boy football, I don't think it gets better than Jim Harbaugh and college or pros. So I think Sean may be able to seek him for 2 scrimmages. I think it says a lot about that.
And for Harbaugh, it's an opportunity to see one of the best offensive minds in the NFL and say, you know what, we're going to have to scheme our way. Because, and you know what's funny? I was talking about this the other day, or I was talking today with Derek on the way up there. And he was telling me, he's like, you remember that Super Bowl when McVay lost and it was Jared Goff? He's like, that Bill Belichick pulled out the book from the Lawrence Taylor led Giants, and he did all that. And then that's the kind of defense he played against the Rams that year. I was like, yeah, I remember that. And then I was thinking Harbaugh is going to be one of those coaches too, where he's going to have to pull different schemes to play defenses. And I think playing against Sean McVay and doing 2 joint practices with him, I think that's very smart, because you're going to see one of the most innovative minds, and you're going to have to face him like and think about it. You play the Falcons. Zach Robinson is the OC over there. He is from that McVay style. So that's exactly. I think it's smart for both teams
and
both organizations
in the NFL to kind of give yourself a warm up test.
Exactly. It kind of gives you that slap in the face you're going to need to kind of wake up and be like, all right, the NFL has changed in the last 9 years that I've been gone, and he gives me the perfect route to kind of see exactly what's going on. But yeah, no, I definitely think that that's a good point you make. Go ahead.
Yeah, and the other thing I was going to say, it's smart for McVay because, like you said, Harbaugh's going to want to be physical and run the football. Well, this is your first year without Aaron Donald right there anchoring your defense, so that's going to be a nice little test. and flipping it over now, the Chargers are going to want to pride themselves on their pass rush. McVay's going to want to throw the football. He's got Matthew Stafford. That's going to be a nice little test too. Test them DBs out also, who they think are a weak link in the defense and everything else. So obviously it's all going to be watered down stuff just because they're not really going to get into everything. But it's perfect for both teams, especially too. You don't have to worry about traveling anywhere or doing any of that stuff. It's all in house. So it's always good.
Before we move over to the defensive side of the football and talk a little bit more about that, Dennis brings up a good point. I love Harbaugh stressed 3 feet away from Herbert and only 2 from the other quarterbacks. Guys, real quick, if Jerry Tillery was on this team, how quickly do you think he'd be thrown off?
He wouldn't have even made it to OTAs or whatever we're at now. Like, seriously.
By the way, Gilbert, was I the only one that laughed when Herbert was talking about how if he has to take off and run and do different things like that, he has to be smart and not take that? All I could think about is, not let Jerry Tillery just blast you out of bounds the way he did. And
this is what pisses me off. He gets murdered into the sideline like that, and Mahomes gets breathed on while he's still in ground.
We got to get one Mahomes dig on the.
No, but it's ridiculous. It's true. Don't even act like it's not. Then they want to treat him like he's the next Brady. Couldn't even lace up Brady's cleats.
Now that Harbaugh's with Herbert, the Dan is Mark Ruffalo in this scene.
Oh, 100%. Hopefully we don't get hit. 100%. They're screwed, dude.
Let that pass you too, by the way.
I've done it before, and they've let it pass. Eddie, I don't think I don't think they're going to change the uniforms. I think they're comfortable with what they are. Harbaugh played in the navy blue, obviously, and I think
those were nice. Those are still some of my favorites.
I think they'll be cool with that. All right, on the defensive side of the football, there was a lot made yesterday about what?
I love this comment. The powder blue team or the powder blue the team looks soft.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
Wow.
The powder blue.
I agree. I like the
history. Come on, Eddie.
I was never a huge fan of the powder blues.
Don't forget, guys, Herbert did blast some poor Swifty on the sideline his rookie year. Oh, that linebacker.
The Chiefs.
Yeah.
First game.
So obviously
gone in his way.
Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack decided to come back. They took a pay cut. This is what Joey had to say about why he decided to do it.
I want to win. I want to be on this team. I want another shot with the guys in this room, especially Khalil. That's what it was. And winning football games is more important to me right now than making some extra money. So I think we have a great opportunity here, and who knows, maybe I'll have a great year this year, and then things can change down the road. But I think if a guy like Khalil coming off of a year with 17 sacks can take that cut, it shows the kind of guy he is and the kind of culture we have brewing here. And that's who I want to be with. So
he called it a no-brainer, Gilbert.
Wow. It sounds like, what Joey and Khalil Mack were talking to each other about the situation, and Joey is like, "You're gonna take the pay cut? All right, screw it, I'm in too." And that kind of says a lot about their relationship. And obviously, they haven't played together a lot on the field. But for somebody the caliber of Joey Bosa to just admire what Khalil did, and what he's been around since 2014. What year was it last year for him? I forget. Was it 10 years? Probably exactly. My math is on point or not. But to do 17 sacks in 10 years. And then for you'll probably bring it up soon, but Khalil Mack, hearing the people talking about his 17 sacks, who cares? The one you want the respect from are your peers. Enjoyable stuff to come back and praise Khalil Mack and say, if you're taking a pay cut, I will too. I want you to set the standard. I want you to push me. And then you got guys like Tula behind them. You got Bud Dupree, and then you get to work with Jesse Minter. Yeah, he hasn't really coached a lot in the pro game, but that scheme has taken off. And the best part, I'm sure, for Bosa were two parts. One, your quarterback is Justin Herbert, obviously. And number two, Jim Harbaugh's around. Now you can maybe truly believe things are going to change.
A little bit, man. I felt like I would look on Twitter and people would be like, "Oh, 17 sacks," but he had 6 in one game. And It was like, damn, is that a bad thing? Maybe I should have got 6. Maybe I should have like did 3, and you know what I'm saying. But ultimately, man, getting to that 100, this is special in a sense, in the grand scheme of things. When you understand, everybody's not fortunate enough to play 10 years in this league and have great teammates like I have had, and been able to do and accomplish some of the things that I have. But ultimately, it's one of those things that's like, I want to win. I want to win. And you can celebrate certain things for a little bit, but I feel like a Super Bowl would feel a lot better.
They want to win for you, Dan.
I hope so, because I just want them to know they win. I'm leaving this earth. I'm blacking out. I'm never coming back.
Gilbert said he still has use for you.
I can't do it. I'm gone, dude. My purpose is over.
What if I need you to be the social media coordinator of Compas on the Beat? Like, I need you
don't
for
know. I can't. I'm gone, dude. If they win the Super Bowl, look up every prison, every hospital, everything.
What about the kids that you're helping out on a daily basis? You got to stick around for them.
That's right. F them kids. No, I'm
Okay.
kidding.
Dan,
I'm just kidding.
Khalil Mack he's had Jack Del Rio, Brandon Staley, Matt Nagy. He hasn't been, because as soon as he got in and he's like, oh, okay, I'm about to have John Gruden sends his ass to Chicago. So just for him, he said yesterday that the way Harbaugh, like I mentioned, Harbaugh is running practice. He's making them wear their game jerseys for practice so that they can feel what it's like to wear those jerseys, so that it doesn't feel different when they're out there on the field. It's like and him, Joey, Herbert, they all keep on talking about the little details. Joey talked about how Harbaugh said he wants all lockers clean. I'm like, damn, I already know some players in my head where I'm like, you might be screwed from that. So he wants lockers clean. He wants guys putting their stuff away. I know it sounds kind of like it's a preschool or a kindergarten, but it's just the small details. But just for a guy like Khalil, for Joey's had Anthony Lynn was a good guy. He was a good guy, and Brandon, and he's had Mike McCoy. Just for them to see a guy coming in, doesn't that say a lot, Dan, about them knowing, oh, well, Harbaugh's coming in, like it's a different cat. He's different. He's going to do a lot of different things. Do you feel like that went into a huge part of why they decided? Because I think if they would have just hired another first-year head coach, I don't know if Joey and Khalil stay, to be honest.
No, and this is what I said as soon as they hired Harbaugh. I said, this is the perfect recruiting tool that you've been needing forever to get guys to come take pay cuts or whatever it is to come play out in LA and everything else. Because the biggest thing you have to understand about this, is that it speaks volumes, right, to the person that Harbaugh is. And like you said, a lot of those guys were first-year head coaches. So these guys getting into their twilight years of their careers, money doesn't seem as much as important as winning a Super Bowl and etching your name in football heritage and legacy forever. Like, you win a Super Bowl next year, 100, 200 years from now when we're all gone, they'll still talk about, the 2025 or whatever year it is Super Bowl that the Los Angeles Chargers won. And it's like that's
how it created one guy to just go bonkers.
And that's all it is, dude. You know what I'm saying? But it speaks volumes to the mission that they're on now. I think Harbaugh's perfect because he's putting on the blinders to them, and he's giving them the structure that they need. I think sometimes, I've said this before, when guys get to the NFL, they're chasing too much a lifestyle, and it's like, I get it. I mean, who the hell doesn't want to fly in private jets, never worry about that stuff? But, like, at the end of the day, you're still a competitor. Like, no, but that's what I'm saying. Like, obviously, we all want that stuff. But at the end of the day, you're still a competitor. Like, why would I want to get paid, $50 million a year just to be on some lame-ass team that can't make it to the playoffs? That doesn't make any sense to me when you're 10 years in.
$50 million on the worst.
Okay, but I'm not talking about us. We're not in the NFL.
You're taking a shot at Joe Thomas.
These guys were the highest paid. Like, well, yeah, exactly. Joe Thomas, look at him. What was the highlight of his career? 5-13 or whatever it would have been. Like, but going back to what Khalil said, speaking of that, that's all good for the little golf clap at the Hall of Fame ceremony. but a Super Bowl ring's forever, dude. I understand the Hall of Fame's forever, but I think Brady said it best kind of today or yesterday, or that video that's going viral. He basically laid out in the sense that, like, individual accomplishments fade. Like, they don't mean as much as the team accomplishment because, you know, as an individual, sure, we can do a lot of great things, but there's such a ceiling for it that you need a team to break it and get past it to get the ultimate prize and goal. Like, I think he said it best. You think I play this game for an effing Pro Bowl? No one plays the game for the effing Pro Bowl. You know what I mean?
Nobody does.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, it's all about the team goal, which is a Super Bowl.
Let me add this real quick with the Jesse Minter scheme, and maybe for this could be a reason why Bosa and Khalil Mack also came back. Like, you know, everybody had question marks about the Ravens defense last year and obviously Jesse Minter and Mike McDonald are not the same person. We keep thinking that, but there's ties there. But Mike McDonald was able to create a scheme with edge rushers like Kyle Van Noy, Jadeveon Clowney. Obviously, he had Justin Matabuke in the middle, but the edge rushers were like older veteran guys. And like, I'm not saying Khalil Mack and Joey are kind of like at that level in their career, kind of older, you know, past their prime guys. But they're probably thinking, imagine what we could do. We're Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack, and we got a young stud coming up in Thule working off of that scheme. Yes, I'm Mike McDonald, but Jesse Minter did a great job in college. He got to work in Baltimore for a bit. He's with Jim Harbaugh. So I think that scheme there with very talented premier edge rushers can make all the difference in the world, because when you had those active edge rushers for Kyle Van Noy and Jadeveon Clowney, what did Roquan Smith do? What did Matabuke do? What did Kyle Hamilton do? Your elite players in the other spots were thriving off of that because you got pressure constantly at the quarterback. So I think maybe that could be a reason why Mack and Bosa were talking and saying, you know what, it's going to cost us some money here, but that scheme and that coaching staff, I like it.
No, and I give them credit because in the past we've seen them rest on their laurels, and you're like, oh, we have Joey and we have Khalil, we're good. We have Thule and up and comer, we're good, we're fine. And it's like, no, we're not fine. Let's go out and get Bud Dupree, who's had before 10 sack seasons. He's done well.
Yeah.
And even Bud said it 2 weeks ago when we were there. He said, you know, in the past, I would have been pissed. I would have been like, what? I have to take a limited role? Now at this point where I'm 10 years in, I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Let me take a smaller role, but like, let me have high production. Last year, I think Khalil, Joey, and Thule had 41 snaps together on the field at the same time. They had 10 sacks in those when they were in that. So it could be even more effective if you have all four of them, or maybe they stick to three. Who knows? But it just can be very effective. But going back real quick to what Khalil said, I want to win. This is what Jim had to say to Khalil.
Jim, Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa spoke yesterday.
I know that voice.
They told plain and simple they want to win. What was your message to them when they told you
that look on our boy?
Gonna be here for you.
You see him flex his back?
Let's go.
That may be one thing, maybe no things, maybe 10, 15 things. Obviously, they have done it at an incredibly high level throughout their career, and tremendous respect and admiration for not only of what they've done, but where they're at now and their desire to help our team.
And then obviously I asked Khalil what Jim said to him, and that was pretty spot on what he said right now.
Oh man, he kind of just kept it straight with me. He was like, he kind of just went down the list of offensive players, defensive players, and we talked about it. And he kind of let me know. He was like, yeah, it's a shot. It's a shot, man. And I already knew it because I knew the guys we had in the building. And so that's kind of what we talked about. He's like a simple dude, man. He's not gonna tell you what you want to hear. He kind of just kept it real and told me, oh, well, if we got these many guys on each side, we can win.
So what Khalil said yesterday, guys, is that he would look at some of the games from last year and he's like, we just effed up in the fourth quarter, or we had a bad play on offense, or just stuff like that. He's like, there are fixable things. And I guess what Harbaugh's been emphasizing is fourth quarter. And Khalil feels like with fixing stuff, their issues in the fourth quarter, they could change their fortunes around and be a better team. So it really feels like those minute details are everything. Because I remember Dan would tell me it's all the small stuff that I feel like these guys aren't doing. That's why it's affecting them on the field, and that's why they're not performing at the level that they should be. So Gilbert, just from everything that you've heard and you've been there a couple of times, like what's kind of your thought process through everything that you've kind of seen and heard?
Yeah, a lot of people keep talking about the details, and I'll go off of what Derwin James said today. Like he's like the ultimate leader, or maybe I guess I'm paraphrasing, but it sounded like he said he's the best, leader he's been around in terms of being a coach, and he's had a good amount of coaches, as we know, being with the Chargers. So to have that, not only does he have the reputation from the 49er days, the Stanford days, and also just winning the Natty with Michigan, but to see it in person, I'm sure they're probably all wondering, like, okay, who is this guy? What's all this talk about? All this fuss about Harbaugh? And to immediately get that respect like that, obviously it helps having the resume, but to call him already like the best leader he's been around, and and Derwin's a great guy, and he's always gonna hype up people, but like it just felt like there's something different here. There's something a little higher, and also too, we talk about Khalil Mack in year 11 or 10 or whatever. Like Derwin James is not that young anymore. He was 2018. That's year 7 if my math is correct. Yeah, so he wants to win too, and to hear Derwin be excited about the scheme and how they're going to use them. Like, and Jesse Minter saying, you know what, we're going to bring you back to being the elite Derwin James. And that's not a knock about what's been going on with Derwin James. It just hasn't worked out. So to be in year 7 and for coaches to think you still have elite potential that you want to untap. I'm sure those details, the discipline, the resume of the coaching staff, that excites everybody in the building. And obviously, when you get to the field or the lights are on and you're in the fourth quarter and it's 1-score games, everything you're working on right now, and then also having in the back of your mind, well, we're led by Harbaugh, we're led by Herbert. That does matter. So to kind of answer your question from a different point of view is like, it's all talk right now. I get that, but there's a sense here that those details right now, and just looking at Harbaugh's face, man, I laugh every time when he's like this.
Yeah,
like
he's
just in the zone, and you could tell he wanted to get past his interview today because he just wants to go be on the field. Like when it's football Harbaugh, that honeymoon phase is over. Like the playing grab ass with the media is over. He's locked in. He wants to go to the field.
No grab assery.
There you go. So I think Derwin, Khalil, Joey, Herbert, like they've all felt that, and I think that really excites them for a team like you mentioned, Fernando, not too long ago. They have a lot of star power, but the team has settled not with just the personnel decision making, but they settled on the field. That's why they haven't won a lot of games. So no more settling, no more having a dirty locker room. All that matters maybe when it comes to September.
No, and it's just not just that, Gilbert, but at the same time, if you kind of look at it like Joey, like I mentioned, Joey, Khalil, Derwin, even Justin, they've had a lot of head coaches, and you could see they're kind of all united on this one. I mean, in the past, you've kind of heard reservations at times, but here it's like, no, like this guy really is bringing something completely different. So, I mean, obviously we'll see if it translates to the field, but it just, as of right now, it looks like everything's good to go for them right now, and they're building it up. And Dan, real quick, another point I wanted to make, like Gilbert asked Derwin, he's like, Derwin, is there anybody that you reached out to ask him about this scheme and how you could fit in this scheme and stuff like that? And right away, Derwin mentions Tony Jefferson, who obviously was with Jesse Minter in Baltimore, and he said Tony's been in this system. Tony is a guy that we've all been going to, and we're like, hey, and Tony's only been there 3 days.
That's wild.
He's only been there at minicamp for 3 days. He's like, we've gone to Tony, and we're like, Tony, what do we need to do here? What do we need to do there? And that he's been really helpful. And I said, F it, I'm just going to ask it. I'm like, do you want Tony to be signed by the team? He's like, yeah. He's like, I want Tony here. He's like, of course. I'm like, oh, okay. That's what he said, right?
They're probably going to watch the press conference, Fernando, the GM, Joe Ortiz, and like, you know what? That's it. That settles it. Sign Tony Jefferson.
Hey, if your best defensive player, or one of, is asking that, I'm sure he would. But that's the thing, too, is that I feel like Harbaugh and Greg have also, or Harbaugh, Greg, Jesse, they've brought in people that are familiar with their scheme. I mean, Bradley Bozeman, the center, he's been with Greg Roman before. Tony Jefferson has been with Harbaugh before, or the other Harbaugh, and then obviously
Harbaugh.
So it just well, I don't know if it's completely him wanting to come out of retirement to play for Harbaugh, but it's him wanting to come back and make an impact. And I really do feel like Tony could make an impact on the Chargers. Hey, Bolt Squad, thank you for for that. We
What?
appreciate it.
Shout out. Shout out.
But
Shout out.
but Dan, just what as kind of because I mean, obviously you haven't been there, fans haven't been able to be there, but from the outside looking in, just what's your perspective on everything that that you've kind of heard, seen, and from so far what has been going on?
I'm not worried one bit. You know what I mean? Like, I think what people don't understand is, yes, to Gilberto's point, because he was getting killed in the comments, it is a project. It is going to take time.
Yeah.
You know, but I think when you look at the span of since Schottenheimer's been fired and gone to now, you see a lot of the same in the middle. You know, the only head coaching experience, you know, the only head coach with head coaching experience was, I think, if I remember right, for North Turner, and it wasn't a very good experience and probably also short-lived. After that, it's been business as usual, just kind of getting guys who, oh, maybe let's take a chance, maybe let's get a chance, this, that, and that. And it hasn't worked out. You know, this is a huge signing. What I'm hoping that God happens, and from my lips to his ears, right? I'm hoping this is like when the Cowboys signed Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson was coming off a natty, I think, or maybe it was the one he got in trouble and it was screwed call. The point is, I think he had one. I think he had 1-2 natties.
Well, hey, Jim got in trouble at Michigan.
Oh, well, there you go.
Still won the natty.
But you see what I'm saying? And then a dynasty is incoming. That's what I'm hoping happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not selfish. All I need is one. But, you know, I think this is the precipice of something great that's about to happen is what I'm hoping. Because, again, it's been business as usual. Clearly that hasn't worked. Well, finally, someone must have sent a text, hit someone in the head or something to make sure it kind of jobbles the brain, and finally it's starting to work correctly. Because I think this is a huge signing as a head coach. And you know, Harbaugh's not going to tolerate anything in the form of some of the older, more established coaches. They don't put up with anything. You want to act a fool, not play in game plan and structure, trade or cut or whatever else. And I think this is where they're going to really just cut. Because like we talked about, fourth quarter stuff, mental mistakes, that happens when you're undisciplined. You can lose because you don't make enough plays. That's fine. But when you're not mentally locked in, you're kind of having, you know, assignment mess ups and people are questioning what they're doing. They don't understand. You know, that's a problem. And I think he's going to eliminate that. And more than anything, I think he's going to make them, you know, I think the biggest thing is that the players with Harbaugh are going to believe they're the 85 Bears. Whether they're the 85 Bears or, you know, the 2024 Bears, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because they're going to think they're big and bad and they're going to come out to play and they're going to play tough. And I think that's been what's been missing from this team, a lot of physicality. So,
Dan, I'm going to add to your wild takes here, but that Jimmy Johnson in his first year with the Cowboys, he let go of a star player named Herschel Walker, kind of a less is more addition by subtraction with the Cowboys, and a dynasty occurred. And the Chargers had to make some tough choices. No Keenan, no Mike Williams. But, hey, sometimes you got to make some moves. And when you're getting rid of people and changing things up, it hasn't worked. You kind of get a little kick in the ass, too, like Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack, take a pay cut. You're all in now. But to your narrative there, you never know.
I'm a student of history. I'm a student of history. And I think, and I'm hoping that, God, this is what happens. Now, he doesn't have a Southern accent.
Oh, well, they got rid of Keenan Allen. They got rid of Keenan Allen.
That's what I'm saying. That's a Herschel Walker kind of move. It's not an infamous trade like that, but I'm just saying.
Yeah. Real quick.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think it's going to be good.
Is Khalil Mack close to retirement?
Thought about this season being your last one?
I don't know, man. You got to turn on that film, bro. I'm rolling. Hey, yo. I'm rolling, man. It's looking. I don't know, man. I don't know. Whenever I slow down, man, I think about it. But right now, I'm having fun with it, man.
Thought about it.
Thinking with these young guys, but low key beating them. I don't want to say it in the media, but yeah, they know. They call me Smoke Show. But anyway, I just said Smoke Show. Don't worry about it. I don't want to say it, and then y'all talk to Joey, and he'd be like, "Oh, nah, he's old. I beat him." I don't say they call it's a drill we got. I call it the Smoke Show because that's what happened. I smoked them guys or whatever. But I don't want to say that to y'all, and y'all use it against. You know what I'm saying? Because they gonna deny. I wasn't trying to say it, but for so many words, I'm still rolling.
Dude, I'm telling you, Khalil Mack, Gilbert, you missed a good one yesterday. Khalil Mack, Joey.
I was surprised when you said Khalil Mack was like
they
that
were
talkative.
so good. They were so good. I was like, wow. I don't know. I don't know if it was like the tension last year with everything, but this year they've been pretty good. Just real quick before we head out, and again, thank you guys so much for jumping on. Thanks you guys for listening. Ryan says, thank you for your guys' dedication and representing. Ryan, we appreciate that.
Ryan.
That's awesome.
Shout out, Ryan. Shout out.
Dennis, you've been on this for a while. Dennis really wants Justin Simmons with Derwin. And you know what? Justin Simmons does have the most picks against Patrick Mahomes, so that would be interesting to see. I don't know if this is comparable with Doc Rivers. Clippers.
Doc Rivers is trash. He doesn't win anything. He got lightning in a bottle once.
Yeah, ask any former player. They all hate Doc Rivers all of a sudden.
Yeah, I don't know.
I do want to watch that show clip, by the way.
By the way, did you see that the guy didn't even know who Doc Rivers was?
Yeah, Lawrence Fishburne.
I saw him on Dan. I think it was on Dan Patrick.
The guy from Matrix. The Matrix.
The guy from the Matrix was like, they were like, "What's the first thing that you thought about when you got the role?" He's like, "Who the fuck is?" Oh, sorry,
Doc
He's
Rivers.
like, "Who the f is Doc Rivers?"
You ask him who's Jim Harbaugh. I was like, I know exactly who Jim Harbaugh is.
Yeah. So I don't know about all that, but Ryan said,
I can't wait to see it, Ryan. I can't wait to see it. I can't.
Oh,
wait to see it.
Dennis brings up a good one. Don't forget, Harbaugh will face Schwartz when they play the Browns. Round 2 is going to be right. They're probably gonna have to put Schwartz up in the press
booth?
box in the booth. Yeah. Eddie, Dan is not a ketchup guy, but I am ketchup.
Ketchup
on
is trash.
The fries.
Ketchup
I am
is
ketchup
trash.
on the fries.
Oh,
Gilbert, what are you?
You're saying ketchup is fry? I mean,
No.
sorry.
Trash.
Yeah, he
My
doesn't
bad.
like
Ketchup is trash. You don't like ketchup?
Yeah. No,
I did not know that about you. I love ketchup.
He doesn't like
That makes sense.
He doesn't like mustard, mayonnaise, or ketchup.
What the hell do you order in a burger?
Barbecue
Plain?
sauce.
Barbecue. The only ketchup
Really?
I like is the one with bacon from Slater's 50/50. Other than that, it's all trash.
Okay, but to answer the question, I'm also ketchup on the fries kind of guy,
I
and I
love
get people don't like it, but Fernando, that's what we get along pretty well. I don't care.
Yeah.
Why are you wasting time doing the dip? Get the
Exactly,
business.
yeah.
Oh,
no,
don't even act like that. I saw this guy eat a burrito with a fork and knife. Don't let him fool you.
Who? Your brother?
I was talking about you. No,
Oh,
I was joking.
You're talking about Gilbert, not me.
Yeah, I was joking. But he killed it, so no worries.
Hey, Angel, we appreciate it. Yeah, we'll be doing more of this. It's just schedules have been kind of busy and tight, but
It's been slow. It's been
yeah,
slow. What are we
yeah.
talking about?
So we'll
How
jump
many
back
times
into
they
it.
tie their shoes and everything
Dan,
else?
before we head out, you were talked about yesterday on House of Horns.
Oh, we're slandering me now. You want to slander?
Vic asked Gilbert what his pet peeve word during this time, and he's like what we did on Compas the other day, the video of Caleb Williams. He's like, what if Keenan ran the wrong route? What if this? What if that? Well, Dan, guess what I have for you? I have yet another video.
Oh my God!
Of
What are
Caleb
we gonna
Williams.
take out of context now?
Here we go. Watch this, Dan. That's
Hold on, let me full screen this. I can't see. What the hell's that pass to?
caught
This
it.
is starting to look like a habit. That's a habit. That's how you build it. Did he run the wrong route again? Another fade?
Maybe
Look
the
at that.
DB's on the left, like, hey, throw it on the outside and no interception. I'll catch it.
What type of imaginary world are you living in? Dude, Keenan Allen has to be thinking to himself, FML. It's under.
What are you talking
it's like
about?
negative
Herschel Walker,
30.
leave.
It's about no. I'm saying, like, if I'm Keenan Allen's spot, it's negative 30 in the winter in Chicago or whatever. On top of that, he's dealing with a doofus at quarterback, a doofus at head coach. Who
Look,
even knows who's
if it's the
OC?
season and just making throws like that are terrible, then I'll definitely say I'm wrong. But right now, let's not overreact, okay?
Oh, you're going to be wrong. I can't wait. Who do they play week 1? I want to know who your beloved Bears play week 1.
I don't know. I know they play the
You guys
Rams pretty
say.
early.
Dan. No. But Dan, let's you want to go through it real quick?
What?
All right. Week 1.
He said what?
Week 1, Bears at Buffalo Bills, Dan.
Oh my God! The Bills are gonna smack.
Oh wait,
them.
no, that's preseason. Sorry, Bears versus Titans.
Give me the
at
Titans.
home week 1.
Give me the Titans.
Out of here.
At Houston Texans.
Oh, the Texans will smoke them. They won't even know what hit them.
0-2. At the Colts.
I'm already betting 2 to 3 picks already at this
Why are we
point.
doing a Bears win-by-win prediction right here?
At the Colts?
Yeah.
Give me the Colts.
0-3.
Well, Gilbert, what are you going to do with your other boy, Anthony Richardson or Caleb Williams? That's going to be interesting.
Anthony Richardson.
The Rams go to the Bears week 4.
Yeah, the Rams will
Dan.
smoke them up, dude. Yeah, the Rams will smoke them. If
All
Cooper
right.
Kupp and Stafford are healthy.
This has to be their first win. The Panthers come there.
Yeah, the Panthers, or they'll lose to the Panthers. Yeah, sure. maybe.
He's gonna go 0-17. Let's just stop here.
Maybe they eject Tepper for throwing drinks on Bear fans, and that mobilizes the team together. And they said, we got to beat this guy's team.
All right. Well, again, folks, we appreciate it. Don't forget, this weekend, Gilbert and I and Dan will also be in Vegas.
And me.
For Gervonta Davis versus Frank Martin. David Benavidez is also in action. We will be there. We'll have a lot of great content. Make sure you guys check it out. Next Monday, Compas on the Beat again. Dan gives his the 5 most overrated quarterbacks in the NFL. So make sure you guys tune into that list. And then obviously Gilbert and I will have stories from
Hold on. Gilberto's doing a list too.
Gilberto's
doing a list too. Gilberto's doing a list too.
What list?
Overrated?
No. I think it was top 5 teams to watch for or something like that.
Top 5 QBs or what?
No. Top 5 teams to watch for, I thought.
Oh yeah, like the teams that we kind of gonna have a special spot in our hearts for, kind of thing, like a soft spot.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. So
something like that. Well, watch the tape.
Okay.
I don't know.
Gilbert will do that. And obviously, Vic, the producer, will have rapid fire for us. So it'll be a lot of fun. And then obviously next week, we're supposed to find out within the next 24 hours what's going to happen with UFC 303. So make sure you guys are all tuned into that. So we'll react to that as well. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yeah,
I think if it was McGregor Gilbert, I think they would have already announced it, but who knows with this. But yeah, make sure you guys tune in. Again, we appreciate you guys so much. Thank you to Gilbert for jumping on.
One more thing. I finally did the newsletter this morning, so please subscribe to the Compas on the Beat newsletter. Go to compasonthebeat.com. Find the shiny gold box, type in your email. Hey, maybe you could send me an email if you want, and with your email, and I'll lock you in.
You didn't get to give your thoughts on the newsletter this week.
I know, but it's on me. I apologize because I've been.
See what happens.
I've been so forgetful, and I did it last night. I'm like, I don't want to bug these guys to do it right now. But next week, I will get you guys. Give me a long list of things that you want to say.
Oh, Dan doesn't do long lists.
Or whatever. Give me your thoughts. I don't give a crap. Just give me your diary. Give me your Napoleon like letters to his mistress. I don't know. Whatever. Give me your thoughts here. But check out the Compas on the Beat newsletter. You're gonna hear from Dan, Fernando. He loves talking WWE. Victor loves talking baseball. So I will bring it back for one more week, and then I'll go on vacation. But CompasOnTheBeat.com.
This guy's actually going on vacation.
Give us your email.
Wants to mock the rest of us because we're working. Sorry.
I'm sorry that you signed up for summer school. That's your loss.
Not a national writer. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, don't get it wrong. Like you say, I cover one team, the Rams. No, I cover all the teams, all 32. That's why Fernando asked me to come on here because I have great insight on the Chargers. And my boots were on the ground today. I saw them live and in person for the Chargers.
Did you take a picture of the last day of being at that facility?
I couldn't top Joe Reedy's tweet. He said it perfectly.
No. His was good. I was talking about somebody else, but yeah, his was good.
Hey, I went to the last one in Thousand Oaks for the Rams, and I went to the last one in Costa Mesa for the
Look
Chargers.
at that. Gilbert shows up and they close up shop everywhere he goes.
Oh yeah.
Dude, do you see how the curse was
I'm
on?
so important. You needed it's like a reunion show. Get me back for the final series here, okay?
All right. Well, we appreciate you guys so much. Make sure you guys tune into everything on Compas on the Beat. Like, comment, subscribe. Again, thank you guys so much. And make sure you tell other Charger fans, hey, you guys need to listen to What's Up Bolts. And obviously, for all your combat sports needs, all other NFL takes, make sure you subscribe to Compas on the Beat. And if you have any buddies like I did yesterday, I told my buddy, I'm like, hey, you're a Rams fan. He works at NBC with me. I'm like, you're a Rams fan. Why don't you tune into House of Horns? He's like, I got you. I'll hit the subscribe button. So, yeah, make sure you guys check all that out. Again, thank you guys so much. We will be back next week. Don't forget to check out everything from the Davis and Benavidez weekend. But thank you guys so much. We are out. Thank you.
Compa, Telecompa.